Alright, well, I'm pretty much going to show you how to mount a auxiliary fuel tank to pretty much any truck. My truck doesn't have a box. I use it just for towing my trailers. So for mine, I'm going to have to make some brackets to mount it there in the front because the tank has the mounts welded on the side. And I'm going to be hooking it up gravity feed to the truck, and I'll pretty much show you how to do that also. Alright, well, here we go. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go buy some metal and cut it down to whatever size you need. In my case, I already had this metal laying around, so I just used it so I don't have to spend money. I already cut them down to size. There's pretty much 1x1 tubing, and these for like kind of like gussets for extra support. You could cut them down and make them look nice, but I don't really feel like cutting that much, so I just kind of cut it simple. It looks kind of ugly, but it does the job. Pretty much, it's gonna go. That's gonna mount. That's gonna bolt to the frame, and then I'll weld that there, and then kind of like that. Weld that. Then that's gonna be all welded up. Then I'll weld that. It'll kind of be like a T, and I cut little 1-inch sections of the square tubing out to kind of gusset the corners there for more strength. And then my tank, I'll just drill holes here, and it'll bolt on, and that'll be pretty much how I do it. And let me weld it up real quick to show you a little better. So the first step to getting a decent weld, you have to clean up the metal. So I just cleaned up the edges where I'm going to be welding onto it. That's how it is. Alright, well, there's pretty much how it's going to look. I still need to make another one for the other side, but that's pretty much all it is just this here. You could get a smaller one of these if you're doing something similar like me, but there's 4x4 because my tank needed to be lifted a little bit so it would be able to gravity feed into this line I already hooked up here. So I mean, it's pretty much, I'm gonna drill some holes on it and then either bolt it or weld it there and then have it come out here. And then my tank is 121 gallons, and my original tank, this one is 27 gallons. I mean, your truck you maybe won't be able to fit as big as auxiliary tank as mine, because this is originally a cab chassis truck, so the side tank comes smaller. In mine, it's supposed to have another tank right here in the back, but this one doesn't have it. And the legal limit for max fuel you can carry is 150 gallons, so I've come in right around 148, so I should still be good. And yeah, let me just weld up the other one, and then I'll show you my tank and show you how it's gonna go. Alright, there's the truck. Fuel tank installed. Mud flaps, semi mud flaps. They're kind of high up, but once I put my trailer on, they sit about 4 inches from the ground, so they'll be legal. Fifth wheel hitch, goose ball. But my tank, there's my brackets. I drilled holes for it, and then drilled holes and then just bolted it. You can't really see the nut, but just bolted it there and there, and then it just goes down, and then I ended up welding that flat bar or flat metal across there because the frame isn't level right there, and the tank would end up tilting, so I had to weld that in there. And then there's my spacers to lift it up higher, there and there. And it's pretty much the same thing on the other side. And let me see here. I'm gonna just show you guys. There's where I fill it now. I just ended up using a like a rubber freeze plug, and then loosen it and take it out, fill it, put it back in, tighten it, and it seals it. It's my breather valve for now, but I'm gonna end up plugging it, and I'm gonna put a rollover safety valve here, this port or this port, and then that'll be the new breather. And then in case I flip or something, it won't leak fuel out. And then there's my gauge sender, since it's like a boat tank sender, because the tank is out of a boat. So sorry, kind of sick, but yeah, it works good. And I'm gonna end up cutting it out here and then welding in a aluminum gas tank cap, so I can just screw it and unscrew it, and then I'll be able to fill up where like the big trucks fill up, because the big truck nozzle doesn't fit in the hole here. And there's my gravity feed system. Let me go around the other side to show it a little better. LED tail lights, semi truck. They're off of eBay in case anyone wants to know the tail lights. Alright, so pretty much the way it feeds, it's a gravity feed. That's a 90-degree elbow. It goes from half to half inch, and then this is a half-inch pipe, and then a half-inch, you can see there it says half-inch ball valve, and it's female on both sides, so that way it just screws directly to the pipe. And then I use the gas Teflon tape, and then you just open it. My gas tank is empty right now. As you can see, it's kind of low there, but it's empty. You close it, and then it's a half-inch mel to 3/8 mel, and then it just has, I wanted to put this little filter to filter out any debris in the tank or something, so it's kind of a pre-filter. And so it just goes there to the filter, and in here to this T here this is the old breather line of the tank. So I just filter, I think it's 5/8 to 3/8. My neighbor's driving by right now. So it's 5/8, and it has 3/8 on this side, so I could feed in. And I bought this at O'Reilly's. And then yeah, there's a lot of people that just leave it open and then it'll fill, and like when it pretty much this, if you have fuel in the big tank, it'll keep the bottom tank full if you keep it open. But on my truck, I think my gas cap is bad, but if I leave it open, it'll start leaking out the cap there. So I just open it and then drive for like, I let it let the bottom one get empty, and then drive. Once I want to fill it, I open the valve and then drive for about 100 miles, and I'll just pull over and close it, and it'll be pretty much full. Yeah, that's pretty much about how it works. And here's a tank. There. Might want a little walk around to the truck. It's a Duramax diesel. There's my other truck. It's a lowered Silverado crew cab, 5.3, built tranny, cammed. Has a light bar under the hood. I mean, behind the grill, sorry. And it used to have the HD front end on it, but I ended up hitting a bird and the hood got a dent in the middle there, so I ended up just putting the old hood back on, old grill. It's pretty dirty right now. I just got back from a trip, but it looks dirty from all the ice on the road because it was snowing. I mean, all the salt on the road because of the ice. Silverado, it's just the base model, kind of dirty. But yeah, I painted the frame black so it wouldn't look all rusty. Painted that black. I'm probably gonna sand down the tank and polish it up and then just clear coat it so it looks nice and aluminum colored. Oh, and then the gauge, the sander there, I have the wire and it just runs under the truck. My truck is locked right now, but then it just has, I mean, that's the turbo gauge, and then that's the one for the fuel where it sends it to, so I know how much fuel the back tank or the big tank has. And then that's the exhaust temperature. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any more or any questions or anything, just comment and I'll try to explain them as best as I can. Thanks.